Hi guys, my name is Megan and this is my makeup channel, Making Up Megan. I'm just starting it, so this is actually my first video ever. I'm pretty excited. The only problem is what I'm showing you today is a tutorial on how to do an everyday makeup look when you're kind of low on products. I am staying at my dorm right now, but I accidentally left the majority of my makeup products at my boyfriend's house. So I'm just literally going to do this tutorial with the very, very sparse amount of products that I have. This is the finished look. It's just a really easy look. I know that my camera also is not great because I'm using my phone instead of my actual camera. But it's kind of like a light blush, contour, just really a light look that's great for class and for university. And anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. So normally you'd see me starting with a Smashbox primer, but as I said in my intro, I don't actually have much of any of my makeup with me. So I guess I'm just going to skip that step. Also, usually what I do before foundation, I will put yellow concealer in a triangle underneath my eyes to get rid of any dark circles, and then I will take a green concealer and conceal any spots. As you can see right now, my skin is not in the greatest shape. It's because normally what I do is I wash my skin with coconut oil. I know that sounds a little bit weird to a lot of people, but it's really good. It pulls the oil right out of your skin, and I ran out. So having used coconut oil for months and months, I was like, well, I'll just go back to my old face wash. And the chemicals just, they burnt my skin. I have very, very sensitive skin. Yeah, so I broke out, my face was red and inflamed. This is actually a couple days after, and you can still see the red spots. So I'm going to try and cover those up as best I can with no concealer. So we'll jump right into foundation. The foundation I use is the Revlon Photo Ready, and because I don't really match any of their shades, I get one in vanilla, so like O2 vanilla, and one in 004 nude, and I will mix those into the perfect shade for my face. And I'm just gonna dot that around my face in multiple places, obviously just kind of randomly around the skin, on the eyes, just because usually I'll conceal the eyelids, but obviously I have no concealer with me. And then I'm going to take this stippling brush. So I'm going to take the brush and get the rest of the foundation that's on my hand, and I'm just going to start blending out all the foundation on my face. So as you can see, I use a foundation that's a little yellow, and that's because I have quite a red skin tone. So don't forget to get your neck. It's really important to blend everything in your face down into your collarbone and onto your neck, and even on your ears if your ears are going to be showing. Now that I have that done, because I didn't do anything to cover my under eye circles, what I'm going to do is highlight it with some super light foundation. So I'm going to take a little squirt of that, and I'm going to use it in a triangle shape under my eye. So I will blend that out onto my lid and right under my eye. I used a little bit much this time, but you know, just grab a paper towel or anything and you can just blot. Right, as you can see, that definitely helped with the under eye circles. Maybe you can't tell. I can tell in my mirror. And then I'm also going to use it just in a triangle shape here on my forehead. And I'm also going to do just a line down the nose. The line down the nose definitely helps your nose look longer, so that's a really good thing to have. So now that I'm done with that, I am going to take my bronzer and I'm just going to contour my cheek. So normally, obviously, I would be using a contouring brush, but because I don't have anything with me here, I'm just using one of the tiny little brushes that you get in a blush package. this is the only time I would ever suggest using them. There's a reason people go out and buy their own brushes. The foundation I'm using is the Avon Glow. It's a little shimmery, and usually for contouring I'll go matte, but again, I'm working with what I got here. They come in like little beads, and I'm just gonna rub that around, and you're gonna do a little fish face. The fish face definitely helps just make that line more visible. So also I'm just gonna quickly contour the shadowed parts of my nose, because I find I have quite a big nose, and this definitely helps slim it. Because I have quite a square jaw, I just like to contour underneath my jaw and here on my chin. Usually if I had a bigger brush I'd contour up in my temples and down the sides, but I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And so now we're going to move on to blush. Lucky for me, my roommate is letting me use her blush brush, and I am using the NARS blusher Orgasm. Not too much product because you don't want to look fake. You just want to look like you have a nice flush to your cheeks. So we're just going to brush that right along the apples of your cheek. If the color is too bright, even after you blend it, just brush a little bit on your forehead and on your nose, because these are all places that we would flush naturally. Now it is time for just some powder to set everything I did with my face. It's CoverGirl in Translucent Fair. So I'm going to take her powder brush, and I'm just going to get some of the powder on the lid. As you have tiny hairs on your face that, if the powder gets caught, can make them look a lot more prominent. So you always want to go in downward motions when you're applying powder to your face. Okay, so now it's time for the eyes. I use this all the time. This is the MAC Paint Pot in Rubenesque, and it's a really lovely gold. Today I'm just going to use it as a full color. So I'm going to swipe that onto my eyes all the way up to the brow bone. And just taking a little on the tip of my finger, I'm going to swipe that underneath my eyes as well, just to get that pop of color. Because I have green eyes, I find that this gold works really well. You can't really tell just because my camera and my lighting in this place is not fantastic. But I'm just going to put that all over my eyes as a just as a color today. Sometimes it'll be my primer for my eyes, but today I'm just going to do that and put a little bit of light brown in my crease. So this is my Naked 2 palette, and I absolutely love all the Naked palettes, but I mean, who doesn't? And I'm going to take the color Snakebite right here, and I'm just going to take the brush that comes with the kit and just brush a little bit of the product onto it. And then I'm going to blend it into my crease. It's quite a dark color, so you do need to blend it a lot. And after you've done it on both eyes, you're going to want to take your finger and go back through, just because sometimes the brush can't quite blend it as well as your fingers can. So there we go. So that's a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. I feel a little bit like I've bruised eyes. Usually the brushes I use do a little bit of a better job. But then I'm just going to take the color Booty Call, and it's like a light shimmery color. There's a lighter color in the palette called Foxy, but I find because it's not shimmery, it doesn't catch the light as well. And because I'm going to use this color as a highlight, I'm just going to take it on my finger, and I'm going to rub it like right underneath my brow. And here in the corners of my eyes. So the next thing that we're going to need to do, well, for me personally, is I'm going to put on some liner. Now I only use liquid liners. I find that I don't do a very good job with pencil liners, and liquid liners give me a line that lasts really all day. So they're definitely my favorite to use. This one is the L'Oreal Paris Carbon Black, and it works wonders. Like, it never comes off. It's called the Intense Liner. Seriously, go out and get some of this. It's not super expensive. I think it's like $14. Definitely worth the purchase. So I'm just going to do a line from the inner corner of my eyes, super thin, all the way out to the outer corners. And because this is just an everyday class look, I'm not really going to drag it out. Usually I'll do quite a prominent cat eye if I'm going to work or if I'm going out. So I'm going to do that in the other eye. And don't worry if you don't get it right away. Liquid liner definitely takes a lot of practice. Like, as you can see, mine are not super even, so they still aren't perfect. Next, I am going to put on some mascara. I'm not going to do any liner under my eyes just because I have quite deep set eyes, so too much dark under my eyes definitely makes me look really tired. So personally, I like to just stay away from that. If you like under eyeliner, I would say go for it. So I'm just going to pop my curler onto my lashes. But the only stuff that I have here with me is the Telescope Shocking Lengths. I'm not a huge fan of it just because I don't really like plastic applicators, but it'll do in a pinch. And then, if you just want to get a little bit more product on the wand, you're going to take the tip of the wand and just slightly color your bottom lashes. Again, if you like a more defined bottom lash look, you can definitely do the whole thing, but as I said before, dark colors don't look great under my eyes. As you can tell, I've kind of sparse eyebrows. They're thick, but they're just kind of, they grow really unevenly. And usually I'll use a powder, and the reason I do that is because it makes it match. My hair's quite red, you can't tell really in this camera, but my eyebrows are not at all. So usually I'll take like a red powder and I'll draw my brows on with that, but I only have this old mascara wand, so I'm just gonna brush them into shape here. I find like a good pair of brows completely changes the way that you look. Finally, the last step is going to be lipstick. Now, on days like this when I'm just going to class, sometimes I will just use gloss, but I'm getting a little bit sick, so I feel like my lips are quite pale. So I'm going to use this L'Oreal Paris lipstick in Unending Kiss. I don't know what style of lipstick this is. It has a little reflective red bit on the top, so if you go looking for it, that's what you're looking for. And I just find that this is a really nice nude pink for my skin tone. So, and that's really it. Usually I go more in depth with my makeup, but I didn't have very much with me this time, so obviously that was impossible. Hopefully next time I'll be able to actually show you guys the full scope of products that I use. It really differs depending on the look that I want to do. So yeah, that's it. Here's the finished look. Oh, I'll just take my bangs down here. And as you can tell, I curled my hair just this morning. So I just have kind of like loose curls, and I find that this is a really fun look for class. It's not super polished, but it's also not just hair thrown up in a messy bun in sweatpants, which I will be honest with you, I do quite often. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Making Up Megan, and I will look forward to seeing you again. Bye guys!